What if I told you the single most important decision you make for your erections isn't what you do in the bedroom, but what you pour into your glass first thing in the morning? You believe you're starting the day right. A cup of coffee to wake up, maybe a glass of orange juice for the vitamins. You think you're giving your body fuel. But what if that very first drink is flipping a switch in your nervous system? A switch that slams the door shut on healthy blood flow and keeps it locked for the rest of the day? What if your attempt to gain energy is the very thing creating a state of internal panic that makes a firm, confident erection physiologically impossible? Good morning. I'm Dr. Emily Carter. For over 25 years as a board-certified vascular health specialist, I have helped thousands of men, from their 50 seconds to their 80 seconds, understand that the battle for strong erections is won or lost in the blood vessels. And the control panel for those blood vessels is often managed by what we drink. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on this. We will expose the 3 most common drinks that are silent artery cloggers and erection killers, including one so-called healthy habit that is sabotaging millions of men. Then, I will reveal the 3 powerful, science-backed beverages that do the exact opposite. They act like a physiological green light for your body, signaling your arteries to open wide, promoting a state of calm and readiness, and flushing the entire system with life-giving, oxygen-rich blood. Stay with me, because understanding this simple "drink this, not that" principle is the key to unlocking the powerful, natural function your body is still capable of. First, let's talk about the saboteurs. The drinks you must approach with extreme caution, starting with the one that will shock you the most. The number 1 offender is not what you think it is. It's your morning coffee, consumed at the wrong time. Now, I can already hear the collective gasp. Dr. Carter, my coffee is non-negotiable. I understand, but the problem isn't the coffee itself, it's the timing. Specifically, drinking coffee on an empty stomach first thing upon waking. When you do this, you are creating a perfect storm of vasoconstriction, the tightening of your blood vessels. Here's the simple science. Your body has a natural rhythm. In the morning, your cortisol levels, the stress hormone, are already at their peak to help you wake up. Cortisol's primary job in a stress response is to prepare you for fight or flight. It does this by constricting blood vessels in non-essential areas, like the pelvis, to divert blood to your large muscles. When you pour coffee, a powerful stimulant, on top of this natural cortisol peak, you are essentially screaming "emergency" into your body's intercom. The result is an exaggerated cortisol spike that slams your blood vessels shut. You might feel mentally alert, but physiologically, your entire pelvic region goes into lockdown. I remember a patient, Mark, a 62-year-old architect. He was a man who lived by his schedule, and his day always started with a double espresso on an empty stomach before his morning run. He came to me complaining of a growing sense of anxiety and a frustrating inability to achieve a natural morning erection, which had always been a sign of his vitality. He said, "I have all this energy from the coffee, but down there, it feels like the power is completely out." Mark was a perfect example of this trap. His get-up-and-go drink was telling his nervous system to shut down the very function he was worried about losing. To truly understand this, I want you to use a new analogy. Think of your nervous system as a highly secure corporate headquarters. A healthy erection requires the building to be in business-as-usual mode, where security is calm, hallways are open, and deliveries, blood flow, can move freely to all departments, including the executive suite in the pelvis. Drinking coffee on an empty stomach is like pulling the fire alarm in the lobby first thing in the morning. Instantly, the entire building goes into lockdown. Steel gates, constricted arteries, slam shut everywhere. Security guards, stress hormones, rush to the vital areas like the heart and muscles. And the executive suite? It's completely sealed off. No one gets in or out. The alarm might make everyone alert, but absolutely no business can get done. That's what you're doing to your body every morning. Now, you might be thinking, but Dr. Carter, I need that coffee to function. The key is not to eliminate it, but to move it. Wait until after you've had breakfast. Once you have some food in your stomach, the cortisol response is buffered. The fire alarm is muffled. The best time is actually mid-morning, around 9:30 or 10 a.m., when your natural cortisol has started to dip. By simply shifting your coffee by 90 minutes, you work with your body's rhythm instead of fighting a war against it. You get the mental alertness without triggering the vascular lockdown. The second saboteur is far less surprising, but its damage is more insidious: sugary drinks. This includes sodas, energy drinks, and most commercially produced fruit juices. The science is straightforward. When you drink a high-sugar beverage, your blood sugar skyrockets. Your body responds by releasing a flood of insulin to manage it. This constant cycle of sugar spikes and insulin surges creates a state of chronic inflammation throughout your body. Inflammation is the enemy of your arteries. It damages the delicate inner lining of your blood vessels, called the endothelium. A healthy endothelium is smooth and flexible, and it's responsible for producing nitric oxide, the master molecule that tells your arteries to relax and open. An inflamed endothelium becomes stiff, scarred, and unable to produce nitric oxide. This is the very definition of a clogged artery at the microscopic level. I had a patient, Daniel, a 58-year-old long-haul truck driver who was subsisting on energy drinks and soda to get through his long shifts. He came to my clinic feeling utterly defeated. He was overweight. His energy was in a constant state of spike and crash, and he confessed that he hadn't had a firm erection in over a year. He told me, "It's like there's a roadblock somewhere. Nothing gets through." Daniel was literally paving his own arteries with sugar. The constant inflammation was making his blood vessels as rigid and unresponsive as old, hardened rubber. The analogy for this is simple and stark. Think of your arteries as a complex network of high-tech fiber optic cables designed to transmit vital data, blood flow, at lightning speed. Drinking a sugary beverage is like intentionally pouring a thick, sticky syrup over all the connections and switches. At first, you might get a surge of energy, a sugar high, but almost immediately, that syrup starts to crystallize. It gums up the connections, corrodes the delicate wiring, the endothelium, and slows data transmission to a crawl. Over time, the cables become so brittle and clogged that clear communication becomes impossible. You can send a signal from the brain, but the message never arrives. The final saboteur is the one many men use to relax: excessive alcohol, especially in the evening. While a single drink may have minor effects, a regular habit of 2 or more drinks a night creates a trifecta of erectile dysfunction. First, alcohol is a diuretic, meaning it dehydrates you. Your blood is mostly water, and when you're dehydrated, your blood volume decreases. It becomes thicker, and your blood pressure can drop, making it physically harder to pump enough of it into the penis to create a firm erection. Second, while it might make you feel sleepy, alcohol severely disrupts your REM sleep, the deep, restorative phase where your body produces crucial hormones like testosterone. Poor sleep leads to higher cortisol the next day, and we already know what that does. Third, chronic alcohol use is directly toxic to the endothelium and nerve endings, further impairing the entire system. Richard was a 7-year-old retired sales manager who enjoyed 2 or 3 glasses of whiskey every night to unwind. He believed it was his well-earned reward, but he was waking up exhausted, with a dry mouth and a foggy head. Intimacy with his wife had become a source of immense stress, because his body simply would not respond. He thought he was relaxing, but he was actually putting his entire hormonal and vascular system under immense strain every night. The analogy I used with him was this. Think of your body's hormone production and vascular repair system as a highly sophisticated overnight cleaning and maintenance crew in a museum. This crew can only work when the museum is closed, dark, and quiet. Deep REM sleep. Alcohol is like a rowdy group of tourists that you let into the museum after hours. They're loud, they leave the lights on, and they stumble around all night. The maintenance crew can never get their work done. The floors don't get polished. Testosterone doesn't get produced. The exhibits don't get repaired. Vessels don't heal. And the whole museum opens the next day, looking haggard and run down. You think you're having fun, but you're preventing the essential work from ever taking place. Now that we've exposed the enemies, let's bring in the heroes. These are the 3 drinks that will help you flush out the damage and rebuild your vascular system from the inside out. We'll start with the protector, pomegranate juice. If the saboteurs cause inflammation and damage, pomegranate juice is the master protector and repair agent. Its power comes from unique and incredibly potent antioxidants, especially punicalagins. These antioxidants work in a very specific way. Their primary job is to protect nitric oxide, the molecule that is essential for erections. The science is this. Your body produces nitric oxide to signal arteries to open, but it's a very fragile molecule. It can be destroyed by other molecules called free radicals almost as soon as it's created. This is especially true in an inflamed body. The antioxidants in pomegranate juice act as a personal security force for your nitric oxide. They seek out and neutralize the free radicals, allowing your nitric oxide to survive longer and do its job of opening up your blood vessels. Let's go back to Daniel, the truck driver. After we worked on cutting out the sugary drinks, the first thing we added was a small 4-ounce glass of 100% pure pomegranate juice each day. He was skeptical, but the change was profound. Over the course of a few months, he reported feeling a deep-seated calm and noticed that his body was beginning to respond in ways it hadn't for years. He was providing his body with the tools it needed to protect itself from the damage he had caused. Here is the perfect analogy for pomegranate juice. Imagine your nitric oxide is a team of expert locksmiths sent to open a series of crucial doors, your arterial smooth muscles. But the hallways are filled with thugs and vandals, free radicals, who keep attacking the locksmiths before they can even reach the doors. Pomegranate juice is like sending in a team of elite, highly trained bodyguards who swiftly and efficiently neutralize all the thugs, creating a safe, clear path for the locksmiths to get to every single door and unlock it without interruption. It doesn't open the door itself. It ensures the one who can open the door is able to do its job perfectly. Now, you might be thinking, but isn't pomegranate juice high in sugar? This is a great question. While it does contain natural sugar, studies have shown that the powerful polyphenols in the juice actually prevent the typical blood sugar spike. When you drink pure, unsweetened pomegranate juice in moderation, you get the vascular benefits without the inflammatory downside of other juices. It's a perfect daily addition to your routine. Our second hero drink is the one I call the super highway builder, beetroot juice. While pomegranate juice protects your existing nitric oxide, beetroot juice helps your body create a massive, brand new supply through a completely different pathway. This is the ultimate hack for boosting blood flow. The science is fascinating. Beetroot is packed with dietary nitrates. When you drink the juice, bacteria in your saliva convert these nitrates into nitrites. These nitrites are then absorbed into your bloodstream and are easily converted into nitric oxide. This is essentially a biological bypass system. It doesn't rely on your body's own, often impaired, production lines. It gives you a direct, powerful infusion of the raw material for vasodilation. The effect is so potent that studies have shown it can lower blood pressure within hours of consumption. This was the key for Mark, the architect who was overstimulating himself with espresso. We replaced his morning espresso with a smoothie that contained a small amount of cooked beetroot. I told him to think of it not as a stimulant, but as a flow promoter. He was hesitant about the taste, but the results spoke for themselves. The anxiety vanished, and the return of natural, effortless morning erections gave him a level of confidence he thought was gone forever. He wasn't forcing his body to be alert anymore. He was inviting it to be healthy. My favorite analogy for beetroot juice is this. If your body's normal blood flow is like a network of small, local country roads that are often congested with traffic, drinking beetroot juice is like commissioning a team of world-class engineers to build a brand new 6-lane, unrestricted superhighway that leads directly to the pelvic region. You are not just hoping for the traffic on the old roads to clear. You are creating a massive, dedicated, high-speed pipeline for blood to travel exactly where you want it to go, quickly and efficiently. The timing on this is also key. The nitric oxide boosting effects of beetroot juice typically peak about 2 to 3 hours after you drink it. This makes it an excellent choice in the morning to set the stage for the entire day, or even a couple of hours before you plan to be intimate, to ensure that superhighway is wide open for traffic. Our third and final hero is perhaps the most important for the modern stressed-out man. It is the calming catalyst. Cool brewed green tea. We've talked about the physical plumbing, but none of it matters if your brain is sending panic signals. A healthy erection is only possible when your body is in a parasympathetic state, the rest and digest mode. It is physiologically impossible when you are in a sympathetic fight or flight state. This is where green tea performs its magic. It contains a unique amino acid called L-theanine. L-theanine has the remarkable ability to increase alpha brainwaves, which are associated with a state of calm, relaxed alertness. It actively counteracts the jittery, anxious beta waves that stress and stimulants produce. By calming the nervous system, L-theanine allows the rest and digest signal to take over, which is the prerequisite for sending blood flow to the penis. This was the final piece of the puzzle for Richard, who was using whiskey to relax. We had him switch his nightly ritual to a cup of decaffeinated, cool-brewed green tea. Cool brewing is important, as it extracts the beneficial compounds like L-theanine without releasing as many bitter tannins. The effect was not sedation, but a true, deep calm. His sleep improved dramatically, and by lowering his baseline stress levels, his body finally had the physiological permission to function properly again. The most powerful analogy for green tea is this. Imagine your brain to penis connection is like a sensitive radio transmission. Arousal is the important message being sent from the broadcast tower. Anxious, stressful thoughts are like a massive electrical storm right over the tower, filling the airwaves with static, noise, and interference. The message can't get through clearly. The L-theanine in green tea is like a special technology that dissipates the storm clouds. It doesn't shout the message louder. It creates the quiet, clear atmospheric conditions necessary for the delicate signal of arousal to be transmitted and received with perfect clarity. Now, let's put it all together. This isn't about choosing just one of these. The true power lies in synergy. When you stop pouring the saboteurs, the ill-timed coffee, the sugary sodas, the excessive alcohol into your system, you stop actively causing damage. You stop pulling the fire alarm and letting rowdy tourists run wild in your body. This alone is a huge victory. But when you then replace them with the heroes, the magic happens. You start your day with green tea or a beet smoothie, creating a state of calm and opening the vascular superhighway. In the afternoon, you have a glass of pomegranate juice, sending in the bodyguards to protect your system from the stresses of the day. You are creating a 24/7 internal environment that is dedicated to vascular health. One drink stops the damage, another protects the system, and the third actively promotes flow. This is how you rebuild the entire system, neurological, chemical, and physical, from the ground up. So we come back to that first, simple decision of the day. You now have the knowledge. You know which drinks are triggering a state of lockdown, and which are sending a message of open, relaxed readiness. Knowledge is the first step, but it's action that creates change. The men who succeed, the Marks, the Daniels, the Richards who reclaim that feeling of warmth, confidence, and powerful function, are the ones who decide to make one small, consistent change. Your goal is no longer to get a hard erection. That is a pass divided by fail test that only creates more anxiety. Your new goal is simply to create a healthy, vascular environment in my body today. That is a goal you can win every single time, with every glass you pour. So here is my challenge to you. For the next 7 days, just commit to changing one drink. Just one. If you're a coffee on an empty stomach person, simply wait until after you've eaten. If you drink soda with lunch, swap it for a glass of water with a splash of pure pomegranate juice. Don't judge the results on day 1 or day 2. Just do the process. This small act is a powerful statement to yourself that you are ready to work with your body, not against it. Your body has not forgotten how to function. It is waiting for the right signals. It is waiting for the right building blocks. The power to provide them is, quite literally, in your hands. If this information has been valuable to you, and you want to help this message reach other men who need to hear it, please do 3 simple things. First, click the like button. Second, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss our next deep dive into men's health. And third, and most importantly, leave a comment below. What is the one change you are willing to try? Your commitment could be the inspiration that encourages another man to start his own journey back to vitality. Thank you for your time and your trust. Your next chapter can begin with your next glass.